My name is Duddy, Settle Builds and Stuff. Today I've got a swarmer build for you, but it's prismatic. We're going to have insectoids going from the colony pack from the Ergo sum. We're going to have threadlings, tangles, devour going, insectoids running everywhere, threadlings running everywhere. And we're also going to be featuring a slight little bit of gameplay with the buried bloodline, so we can have devour going all of the time, weakening going all of the time. And then on top of that, as another option, we're going to be featuring the Ergo sum, again with the insectoids. So we're just going to cause an absolute mess everywhere we go with this build, so stay tuned. So for this particular video, we'll start off with the swarmers. Destroying a tangle spawns a threadling. Your threadlings unravel targets that they damage. Unravel, he's excellent, he just spreads damage everywhere. Threadling grenade, pair it with the threadling grenade. Woven projectile that reweaves itself into threadlings while in flight. On top of that, we're going to be pairing it with Weaver's Call, so you can activate your class ability to deploy more threadlings. It deploys 3 plus your grenade, so you can have loads of threadlings going everywhere. And on top of that, we are going to be pairing it with the aspect Feed the Void, because defeating any target with any ability will activate Devour. All of this, what you've seen, does activate Devour. Your Weaver's Call, your Swarmers, your Threadlings, it all works. It all procs your Devour, as you can see there. Proxy Devour, which is extremely useful. Even if you throw a tangle and get a kill, it will proc that Devour. Now, before I get into the sword, I want to show you Buried Bloodline. This is a build I did last season. It's just got a hell of a lot better with Prismatic. This double fires tracking bolts, Void sidearm. It's got the perk on there, Violent Reanimation, multiple final blows grant this wielder Devour. So you're going to have Devour going all the time from the gun or your abilities from the aspect, but while Devour is active, this weapon weakens on hit, so you're going to be able to get Devour going from all of your abilities or from the sidearm. And then once Devour's up, obviously Devour's going to give you loads of health back and loads of grenade energy, but with the catalyst it does weaken as well, so you can apply weakening to all of your targets. That therefore makes all of your threadlings, everything, all your tangles do extra damage to weaken targets. So it's just an all-round excellent exotic for this build. Like I said, it is something I did last season, but with the combination of Prismatic going on, so we can mix and match and get Devour going pretty much more often, because we can like mix and match our fragments, grenades, etc. and aspects on the Prismatic. It's just absolutely insane this season, honestly. So if you've got a buried bloodline lying around, or you're thinking about going to get one, definitely get it. And definitely use it for this Swarmers build, because it's just absolutely disgusting. You'll see there I've got Devour going everywhere, Unraveling rounds going everywhere, Weakening going everywhere. It's just absolute carnage. Now, the other pairing is the Ergo sum. This works exceptionally well with this build because it's got the Insectoid robot grenades on there. This is the Void version. Now, this is the perk that the colony got. It just drops little Insectoid robots and they will just chase everything nearby and kill as well. So basically, you've got your Threadlings doing work, you've got Tangles, you've got Unraveling rounds from the Swarmers, you've got Devour going, and everything is just an absolute mess. You make a mess of rooms. Look at the state of this. It's just absolute carnage. Disgusting. Threadlings everywhere, insectoids everywhere. A couple of fragments that really make this stand out is Facet of Bravery, defeating targets with grenade final blows, grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. Buried Bloodline, Ergo sum, they're both void weapons. And like I said, with Prismatic, it's got changed, so any grenade, so your Threadling grenade will proc your volatile rounds for your void weapons. And on top of that, if you get a kill with a melee, you're also going to give any strand weapons that you're running unraveling rounds as well, so just infinite unraveling rounds too. Facet of Balance, rapidly defeating targets with light damage, i.e. void stuff, that's going to give you melee energy, and all your darkness kills, i.e. your Threadlings and your strand stuff, that is going to give you loads of grenade energy as well. So they're a really good couple of fragments to run, and this is sort of what you could do. This is just a 2020 Lost Sector, and it's just so good. You've got Devour going all of the time, honestly, and you're just going to get so many free kills because your Swarmers are kicking in, your Threadlings, your Tangles, they're all just getting your kills everywhere. And on top of that, you've got them Insectoid robots just getting you extra kills. You're getting Devour going all the time, and you don't even know. You just start getting healed because you Devour, and you'll just throw something to the left, like a grenade over there, run around a bit, and by the time you know it, you've got 10 seconds of Devour. And you've got all that carnage going on as well. You make an absolute mess of any room that you enter. It's disgusting. I've used it in Most I haven't used it in the GM yet, but I've used it in the raid for a couple of encounters in there, the new Salvation's Edge, and it just clears rooms. It's just absolutely crazy. And you'll see in this clip again, I'm going to extend that Devour with the Tangle, just getting that 10 seconds of Devour going on your volatile rounds. It's just absolutely crazy. Now, Vermis, this may seem a little bit daft to some people, but if you're learning a new encounter in a raid, like there's a lot of stuff going on with this build, you can sort of relax and just learn the mechanics because everything's working for you. So if you're learning like something like the 4th encounter, like I was like learning how to do this like properly over the last couple of days, and you really can focus on the mechanics because you've got all these threadlings going around, your insectoids going everywhere, so you don't really have to worry about staying alive. It's just like a little box you can tick off. You're very confident that you Devour and the threadlings are all going to do the work for you, and the insectoids as well. And again, that buried bloodline, there's just an option if you've got one, but if you want, don't worry about it. Get your Ergo somehow, and you can do carnage with that as well. But again, I just wanted to sort of focus on that. If that makes sense, you could just sort of like sit back. You know, you don't really have to do a very minimal effort towards the ads because all your abilities and the insectoids are going to do the work for you. I'm going to be running this in the GM tonight when I do it. It's Overload Sword, so it'll probably fit nicely. Probably going to pair something like an anti-barrier pulse for the anti-barriers in there. So I'll let you know we'll get on with the GM. I did have a little play with it and it felt pretty decent. So I'm going to have another little play with it in the GM tonight. But you'll see your survivability is pretty good in this as well because obviously you've got the Devour. You see there my health went from 0 to full just from one Tangle kill. The other thing I want to focus on just a little bit just before I show you the rest of my fragments is the Unraveling rounds. If you can see this guy, he's been affected by a Tangle, so he's unravelled, and you can just see these Unraveling rounds. Just look at this, it's just absolutely crazy. I think it's a perk of a little sort of bonus that don't get featured very much on the Swarmers. Just getting them Unraveling rounds, just doing that extra bit of work for you. Really, really good, very underrated. I'll quickly show you the rest of my fragments. Facet of Devotion, defeating targets afflicted by stasis or strand debuffs. Grant light transcendent energy. Everything's got strand debuff on there, which is the Unraveling, so you're always going to get loads of energy for that. The next fragment is just as good. Facet of Honor, collecting an elemental pickup or destroying a Tangle, grants transcendent energy of the same type. You're always picking up Tangles and destroying them with this, so this pet works absolutely perfectly. Now the next couple were featured. Facet of Balance, rapidly defeating targets with light damage gives you melee energy, darkness damage gives you grenade energy, so you get loads of melee and grenade energy with this fragment as well. Facet of Bravery, defeating targets with grenade final blows grants volatile, melee final blows also grant you strand weapons unraveling round, so you got volatile unraveling. And then Facet of Protection, while surrounded by combatants you have more resistance to incoming damage, while transcendent the effect is increased. The only other little thing I want to talk about is the actual transcendence, because of all the fragments, all the light and dark sort of bonuses you get towards your transcendence, you just get it infinitely. Plus on top of that you've got the transcendent duelist from the sword, from the Ergo sum, which will extend your transcendence and give you absolute chunks of it, so you can pretty much have infinite transcendence with this build as long as you don't run out of ammo. It's just absolutely awesome. The only thing I've got left to do now is show you the build card, courtesy of my friend over on Twitter, Mr. Slayer God is doing some absolutely banging infographics for me, and I'll also leave a dim link in the video description. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, I hope you have a great weekend.